So check this out. I'm putting together a 241cc small block with a 59mm stroke and a 72mm bore. So this thing's turned out pretty nice so far. So you have the reinforced block, the reinforced jug, then the front of the block, reinforced, and then underneath. Then I plugged the governor holes with a 7/16 by 14 bolt on the front, and then a 1/4 by 20 on the top here and behind the flywheel. So this has a 59mm stroke and a 72mm bore with an ARC billet rod and a 308 cam. Then of course the ARC billet side cover. So then you have the 72mm bore with the flat top piston, and then the GPS or Go Power Sports stud kit. Then you have the ARC billet flywheel, and then the Paul's Karts adjustable timing bracket and hot coil, which is really nice. So if you want to go from gasoline to alky, you can adjust timing with ease just by loosening these two bolts. And then each mark on the bracket as the coil goes down is advancing the timing by 1 degree. And then another cool thing about this build is one of Paul's Karts specialties, this 14cc chambered big valve head. So you have the 28, 32 valves, the radius cut 14cc chamber. Then it has Paul's Karts custom seats, a welded intake tube, and then everything is max ported with epoxy, so it's nice and straight down there. And then you can feel the roughness of the epoxy to atomize the fuel. And then it has the 60-pound dual springs with Paul's bronze guides, and these guides are exclusive to Paul's Karts. Yeah, that's definitely a nice piece. He for sure puts a lot of hours into these heads. He does a lot of flow bench work on these things. And then it's running a fiber fire ring head gasket that's 45 thousandths thick, so I'll have plenty of piston to head clearance. So we have 1.3 ratio rockers, NR Racing chromoly push rods, a titanium retainer and keeper kit, and another cool thing about this build, I think it's going to have a pretty sweet idle, because check out this overlap. So you got both of them open right there. And they're both open quite a bit. So I think that's going to make a pretty lopey idle. So this time around, we're running an 18-tooth Premier Stinger. So on the cam card here, it shows recommended ignition timing 34 degrees, and the ARC billet flywheel has 32. So I will add a couple degrees timing. That's what's cool about this bracket. It makes it super easy. So just bump this down a couple lines, and there's 34. So this engine turned out fantastic. I mean, it looks amazing. I mean, I don't know if it runs good, but it looks good. I mean, I don't really understand why everybody's so caught up on how these things run anyway. I mean, as long as they look good, then it's all good. So I think I have the perfect frame to install this engine on. It's pretty much the best handling frame or best handling bike that I have. So it's this Rascal GT. And this thing is awesome. I mean, it's super light and super low, and it handles fantastic. And it's got a nice long wheelbase. It already has a steering stabilizer, which is nice for the speed runs. Got the angled motor mount. Then it has the Douglas wheels, or DWT wheels, front and back. which are super lightweight. So this is actually the Go Power Sports drag bike, but I kind of turned it into a cruiser. I added these 8-hanger handlebars and these street tires, but at some point I'll probably swap it back to a drag bike. But for right now, I think it'll be the perfect platform to test that engine out on.
And I think it has some serious mid-range pull to it, which is totally surprising, especially with this 18-tooth clutch. It's more of a highway gear. Yeah, I did 58 already just cruising around. Yeah, it's got a lot of pull. Got a lot of top end. Almost hit 80 right there. We're pretty close. Let me run down here and do a 0 to 30 real quick. I mean, it might be pretty decent even though it's highway geared. We'll see. I mean, it feels like it's pretty snappy, pretty quick. So let me hook up the draggy here real quick. All right, here we go. All right, 0 to 30, 241 on the Rascal GT. Man, I gotta change out the weights in that clutch. It's got a serious stall to it. A 393, that's pretty good. So it's in the threes, even with the highway gear. That's not bad.
So this thing runs fantastic, especially with a 3.61 gear ratio. I think it beat up on my 263 by a couple miles per hour on the same bike with the same gear ratio. I think the Paul's Karts head is where it's making its power. I mean, it's a better all-around head than I have on the 263. So how much faster and how much quicker would it be if I run it on alky?